that has been always a difficult question to answer. How do I see my identity in my work? I know who I am. I know where I am. I'm in the greatest place of the whole world. I'm at the Smithsonian. Now, and I see my students' works, which I taught at Howard University, right here. How would that make me feel? Oh my God, I'm on top of the world. It's nice to be an Ethiopian in America. It is beautiful to have a country who is so gifted by all the cultures of the world. I mean, in and out of its own centers.
They are related to what I do in some ways, specifically the issue of identity is very complex to my opinion. As an African artist, most people, specifically outside of Africa, would expect an African artist to paint in a very stereotype the kind of expression, and that issue is very close to my heart actually, and I truly believe that there are layers to the issue of identity, and most people unfortunately relate to the most superficial aspect of what identity could be. Coming to my own work, I believe my work has an identity which is blending with new phenomena based on my experience. So wherever I go, I'm adding to what I had, and again, I believe that identity is not something static; it changes every time based on our experiences.
As one of the migrant species, and as an artist, it is a space that has allowed us to negotiate in terms of our identity as Ethiopians, our experiences as Americans, those of us who have made some efforts to that extent. It is an arena that allows us to perhaps retain some of the nuances of who we are as a people, as artists, as individuals, as one who actually has retained and continues to manipulate through this space with some residue in some cases, and also reinvent as well as also create forms by sort of renewing some of those issues by going back and coming back, by continuing to work within the universal as well as also the particular. This has allowed us to make a difference in terms of continuity, change and exchange in the context of the Ethiopian diaspora, as well as also our connections to the homeland.
Okay, the team is, I didn't, when I came here I was younger, but at the same time there was a culture things, in my own family, the difference, I don't see much of the differences. For me is any movement is according to my art. I respond to my own environment, and wherever I go, yes, once in a while you have a homesick, or you have it fly on you, or a flashback on you, and then you project it, but you never catch it. It's like a dream, So dream dancers most likely is dreaming, but not really knowing this way or that way to go, in a way. And the best part of it is to communicate the two people, as for me, I don't know the rest of the artists, to bring, I didn't bring any culture form in art, but I just can tell my individual way of expressing my feelings between the two of them, or individually, or any human being, whatever the way it works.
I guess everything relates to movement, what I do, especially if I talk about the lonely mother. It is about elderly people who come here to the United States to visit their children. In the process, they find themselves just by themselves. I mean, lonely because of the displacement, because they are far away from the community that they are used to, and there is no communication because of the language barrier, and just the culture difference that makes it difficult for them. And I mean, this is an experience that I went through because of my mom. My mom lived with us for a long time, and it's actually about her, I can say, and about every mother and every father who came here to visit, even though they enjoy being with their siblings and with their children, but at the same time they go through difficult times, and I wanted to say that.
Well, Elizabeth, it absolutely applied to my work, I would say fully, because it really does have a movement. The diaspora, the identity, that what you also earlier saying, the movement is basically what is in my painting. And I think the diaspora, which is also based on the movement and identity in that respect, also the dialogue in respect to all that, is partly expressing what once leaving a space and finding another space, but continue to move on even from that on. So there is almost no space of staying. So the movement comes within what I work, and I believe on that, and it really truly implied in my work, in its color, in its forms, and it really defined also that global connection to the movement of what I particularly do, writing as what I call the color of words, which really relate to the diaspora. It is a dialogue in that respect. To the words are really speaking to international conditions and human rights and all that, and the misplacing and the identity, what I try to hold on, basically really emphasize in this painting with all at one.
I think it applies in more ways than one, because I grew up all over the place, ranging from Europe to Middle East to here in the States. But if you if you look at the work that I do within photography, I think when I shoot, especially when I do my black and whites, it's with sort of a conscience to express something that other people don't often see about my culture, and that's why I even began shooting from the beginning. As far as the movement aspect of it, I think I incorporate different cultures. Like, for example, the light box that I made, it's incorporating different places that I've been or different cultures I've experienced throughout my childhood, or even now as I move from place to place. But as far as my work doesn't, I guess when people look at my work, they don't say, oh, this is by an Ethiopian artist. And the main reason is because I grew up outside of home, for most of the time. But I sort of try to incorporate little Ethiopian aspects to it if it is possible. But if not, I try to create work that sort of transcends cultures. But at the same time, I'm able to express what it means to be an African woman. If anything, at the minimum, it's being African that I sort of try to express, if not it being an Ethiopian woman. Because to me, being an Ethiopian woman and being an African woman, it's two of the same things. So, throughout, the different people I've met and different cultures, I sort of see that, we're all the same. At the end of the day, we sort of experience the same things, and we go through the same changes or the same experiences and what have you. And in that sense, I guess my work sort of expresses that.